Hi everybody, this is Ink Sisterhood. This is part 3 of the trilogy. Welcome to our channel. If you're new here, consider liking, subscribing, and sharing this video later, and of course commenting later as we go through this episode. I am Bev, famously known as Pilipili Ndogo. You are?
Chinga.
What do you ride?
Ooh, I ride a CBR 600RR.
Vroom vroom.
Yeah, and I'm Monica, been riding for, this is my second year. I ride Duke KTM 390.
But your orange is the new black. Is it though? I ride a 200J Zontes. It's a dual sport. Like I said, I like riding standing. I do a lot of things standing actually, so welcome to this episode. In this episode, we talk about our experiences and the memories that we have accumulated along this journey. For Monica and myself, it's been 2 years of this awesome experience on two wheels. For our advanced friend here, seasoned. Yes, 4 years. And we'll take you through the journey, and feel free to ask or share your experiences as well in the comments. So let's start with the good stuff, yeah? Yeah, good stuff. So your best memories, as many, not as many as you can remember, because we want to keep this short and sweet, but the top 3.
This is going to be very hard, given that I got into riding for leisure and self-actualization. Nonetheless, I will try and capture the most memorable one.
Yeah.
Actually, mine relates to when I got my first bike. So I got the bike. I needed to go and collect it from where I was getting it from. And so, because I was not very confident, because it was coming from one part of the town going to the other part of the town, so I decided to call my instructor to go and pick the bike for me, and then they pillioned me back home. And so my instructor was very obedient, and he was actually earlier than me. We went, inspected the bike, and everything was okay, and now I had to get the bike out of the compound. Of course, the first thing I did was I dropped the bike right outside the compound where I was getting it.
In slow motion.
Yes, I just dropped the bike. Nothing broke. I did not break anything, and that was it. So the instructor just told me, you know what, Monica, I will just get it out of the compound, but then when we get there, you pick it up. And then I'm like, and so how will you go? Don't worry, I'll show you what we'll do. And so we get out of, it was on Mombasa Road, so we get out of the estate, South Sea, and so I'm thinking I'm only getting the bike up to the highway, and then he gets on and picks it. So I ride. He actually decides to remain behind, and so he took a boda to catch up with me. Yeah. And so we get at the entrance of Mombasa Road, and I stop waiting for him to come and take on. And so he comes. He gets off his boda, and then I'm there getting off the bike so that I can be pillioned. And then you know what he told me? Sit there. You're carrying me.
You pillioned someone on your first day?
I pillioned my instructor. The first bike I ever sat on, my first bike, I pillioned him from Mombasa Road all the way to Westlands.
Wow.
We never had any incident. I had never pillioned anybody. I had never expected to pillion at that time. We arrived safely. There was no incident. There was no drama. I could tell many times he kept on bumping into me because of the way I was braking. But we arrived safely, and he was like, "You have just graduated.
Oh my God!
You are advanced class."
Yeah,
and
awesome.
I was so proud of myself, because that is something I had never thought at that point in time I would have done. Because I'd just gotten my license. It was my first bike. And I did it on the highway.
Yeah.
Like on the highway.
And not like
I did not have an L sign. I did not have an L sign. He did not have an L sign, but we made it. So that remains as one of my most memorable moments up to date, because it really goes to show me the way that when you're pushed to your limits, just how far you can also push yourself.
Must have boosted your confidence as well.
Yeah, I was like, well,
0 to 100.
So that was really one of my best moments. And then the second most best moment I remember is this was a funny one. I always used to desire lifting my hand to salute.
Waving is a thing.
So I was like, I'm a newbie, so I'm like holding the throttle and the clutch with every energy and every muscle that
you have.
And so I would meet bikers on the road, and
they
are lifting their hands on me. They are lifting their hands on me. They are shaking their heads, and I'm like just shaking my head. And sometimes I was not sure whether they've seen I'm shaking my head. So I was like, the day I'll be able to lift my hand and say hi. So one day I was coming from Karen, and I just gathered the courage, and I was able to lift my hand and say hi to a Boda guy, and I did not fall. I was like, wow, did I just do that? And so it was a biker, and I raised my hand back, and I was like, wow, did I just do that? After that, all the way back home, I saluted everybody. I saluted everyone on the road. Yes, that was one of the skills that I really was very proud of achieving, and some of the few memories that I remember.
It's good you brought that up, because in my NK, somebody said that female bikers are very snobbish. When you say hi, they do not greet you. But somebody brought in a fair point and says, maybe this is a newbie who doesn't yet know they can, lift their hands off the control. Yes. So you had it from her.
Just understand.
Yeah. What about you in the superbike? Best memories.
My best memory was I took a sabbatical for family reasons, hence to mother.
In the way of the family.
Yes, I went in the family way. So I had never been to work on my bike because the thing that used to mortify me was that I had to use the railways roundabout, and you know how it is there. I had to do Haile Selassie. There was no way I was running away from the railways roundabout.
Yeah.
And the matatus all converged there, from Mombasa Road, from Ngong Road, from
basically almost all the matatus in Nairobi.
It used to stress me. It really used to. Then on one time I just asked myself, so I'll run away from this for how long? So one day I just confidenced myself, and I got on my bike, and I actually made it. And it wasn't even such a big fuss, and I was really shocked. Like, let me tell you, my experience with that roundabout is that the Matatu people always saw me. Always.
Every time. They had you. They actually had you.
I was afraid of. I was like, oh my God.
They had you.
Rule. Loud pipe save lives. Loud pipe save lives. Because they'd hear me even before they'd see me, and they'd look out for me, and then they'd see, oh, it's a girl. She has a purple bike. Oh my God. Hi.
Let her pass.
Proceed. It was
my lady.
Wow. Oh my God. Yeah. And from then henceforth, I've always ridden
to work. Nice. Yeah. So that's the best.
Yeah, that's the best. That was the for me.
So I was gonna ask you about your bad memories, but I think my best memory kinda gels in with the bad one that I had. So as I had mentioned, like part of my confidence building was working on my hill stats. I used to do that a lot on Upper Hill, and on this one occasion, I think I got distracted for a bit, and I stopped, and I thought I had put like the bike on the stand to get off the bike for like a bit to chill, but I think the stand was on leaves. Next thing I see was the bike going down on a hill, and I was like, I'm not going to suffer. I let it go down. So I picked it up later, started the bike. So I think the gear lever got, something happened to it. I don't know what happened to it. So I could only like get down to 1 from neutral. It couldn't go up. It couldn't go higher.
So you had to ride on 1.
So I had to ride on 1 the whole way home. And this is like around 9-ish in the morning. And I'm like, okay, there's not much traffic, especially on the routes that I'm going to use. So I can just still like go slow, because now I was like, I'll just take it to the dealer to see if they can sort it. Yeah. And so there I am, Bagadi Way. It's downhill, but it's on 1. So it's not going
anywhere.
Yeah. I am just there. I'm not going anywhere. And then I'm frustrated. I'm all these things. I'm like, oh, should I just shuka and push it? But again, soft life.
Baby girl.
Baby girl. I'm talking about baby girl. Like how? So I decided I'll just go pole, but now I won't own the lane. You know the way we are told to own your lane. Like I'll scoot on over to the side so that I'm not a nuisance to every other road users. And then the matatus are by the way. No,
hi,
si kwa ubaya, but
very much.
Yeah, hi. I saw one behind me. I'm like, Kwisha Mimi. You know, if it's the Ngumo, the tired South B ones, they're also going slowly. So it's okay. But now this manyanga for Rongai is behind me and the driver is like hooting. So me, I'm just like, pass. Oh, by that time, I knew how to lift one hand. By the way, unlike some people, I'm like, pass. But the guy is not passing. So kidogo, so anachukwanga pesa. The conductor. So it had escaped. So the conductor shukas the matatu, runs over to me and is like, Madam, nini ba? No, he had not realized like I'm a chick. I had lines on, so he came like, boss, nini. So I'm like, hi Shuki. Hi Shuki. I didn't say the nini is not nini. Remember to clutch imekwama, and then he's like, sawa. Usi worry. Then I think he went back and told the driver something. I don't know what he told him. So he was just running there alongside.
Are you serious?
I swear, like I can never forget that conductor.
So nice.
Like he just ran. He ran, and then I was going to Kerry Road to where my dealer is. So I was branching off at some point up on Bagathi Way. The whole way was just like this with me. Oh, there's somebody who does this thing. So no, like it was just like this with me, and I was. Like all the emotions I was going through at that point, they disappeared, and I felt safe. Like I stopped imagining like this person would just kanyaga mafuta and like cross over with me. So that was my good and bad, like memorable experience, like gelled in together. And nilifika tu by that asikufika ndani ya Beth because I found somebody who rode it to me all the way into the whatever, and they sorted the thing. They sorted the clutch. But I can never forget that manamba because normally the default response is to harass you.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that. They were like, "Hi, Pole," and yeah.
That's
So
impressive.
bad experiences because me I just mixed them all
I
together.
think it's interesting also how you also look at the bad experience. Well, not really bad. I don't call it bad. I actually call it
A
more of a
learning
learning
moment.
experience because there's always something to learn. And the one that I remember immediately was still on my very first bike, and it had to do with heels, of course.
High heels, like shoes.
No.
Oh,
heels.
pumps. Oh,
A
okay.
heel. Yeah, so I was, so this was Pangani. I'm getting into Pangani Forest Road. You see that hill, and then sometimes there's traffic. And guess what? I did not engage the right gear, and I stalled just right getting into the tunnel.
I'm not supposed to be laughing.
Panic because I'm like, oh my gosh, cars behind me, and then now I stalled right at in the middle where you split between going to Forest Road and Muranga Road.
Oh my God, that's
That's
a
where
bad
it
spot.
was.
That the intersection, that's a
at
bad
the
spot.
intersection. So I really panicked and I was like, oh my gosh, now I'm gonna be hit, and I'm like, now what do I do? The bike stalled, and I'm like, I'm not thinking and all that. And guess what? So that's why I actually call it more of a learning, because it turned out to be really like a good experience. The car that was behind me, which was, I remember it was a Land Cruiser V8 guy, he actually came and blocked me. Like
He shielded
literally
you.
blocked
He shielded
other,
you.
shielded other cars until like I figured myself out, and then I was able to downshift quickly, start the bike, and then I moved and I continued with the journey, and he literally drove behind me.
Thank
I don't know
you.
if it was a he or a she. I never got to see. But yeah, so that was really an almost unpleasant situation that happened, but then it turned out so good. And this is just kudos to all the good drivers on
People
the
who
road.
look out for us.
Look out for bikers and all that. You make riding for us on the road a pleasant experience.
Yes.
The many of you who
And
are
we
good.
believe in humanity
Yeah.
more because of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so that was it. I really wouldn't
Humanity
call it that bad. I'd call it more of a learning, and I always choose to, those unpleasant moments, I choose to call them learning experiences.
Now you know next time you're going on a hill, you engage the right gear.
I'm a pro now.
Pro.
I'm a pro now.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good.
My
It's
bad
about
experiences all involve kokota inaitwa nini?
Ballast.
Or
I
gravel.
think. I'm a gravel.
Gravel, as in loose chippings.
Yes.
Yo, so my bike has racing tires. I've always said I will change them, but what for? Now I know. Okay, I've always known, but I just didn't say. So all of them have involved loose chippings and my tires. So actually, I don't even think it has anything to do with the tires. Like loose chippings are just loose chippings.
Yeah.
So every time I see them, my mouth goes. I get cotton mouth instant. My knees do that thing. I feel hot in the chest. I
Hyperventilate.
when I was a newbie, in fact, I hadn't even one of my first road experiences was Likoni Road. I used to have someone who used to keep the bike for me since I couldn't ride it. So I used to go to their house in a car, then change into my gear, and then get on my bike, and then so I used to have to get onto Likoni Road, then take the U-turn before they built the roundabout Kitambo, you remember like after the bridge sort of thing, there was like a gravel U-turn thing going on there. Then you'd go back onto the bypass Mombasa Road side. So I used to prefer to ride on the bypass. So now I'd go there. So this time I tried to take the U-turn. It's gravel. The bike just went and I ended up on the other side of Likoni Road. And you know, like on the other side is it's going down, so everyone is coming.
How did that go?
I almost pissed my pants.
Sorry.
But I had people, like, someone just told me, calm down. Calm down. Because I didn't even know how to do it. I stalled the bike, then it fell. Then I got off. And then now, you know, it's quite heavy. My bike is very heavy. So I can't pick it up myself. So I had to wait for someone to come help, then pick it up. And then I still kept stalling it because now I'm on full panic mode. And then the cars are hooting. Everyone
is agitated.
What? Please have mercy. We don't do these things
on purpose.
And then you're making the situation worse by hooting and passing so close to me. I'm getting anxious, as in my brain is not working. Yes, but loose chicken is my kryptonite.
To date?
Yes, to date. Like when someone tells me, "Are you coming over?" First thought is, "Are we going off road?" Yes, no.
Loose chickens and biking can never be the same WhatsApp group.
Except, of course,
off-roaders. Oh, please, God's chosen.
God's favorite. But don't worry, it's okay. For most of us, we've learned a few things from the bad experiences, and like with everything, there's always the good and the bad side. Same applies to biking. And I say that because I wanted to ask you ladies, from this trilogy, we've talked about a lot of things. What are some of the things you would recommend or advise somebody looking to start biking or looking to join us, or somebody who has just started on this biking journey? Maybe
I can go first. So if you've been thinking about it and questioning whether I should or not, there's no better time than start. If you want to do it, start now. And how do you start? You have to get the right training. So there are so many schools available, training schools available. So get in touch with Ink Sisterhood Leadership, and they'll connect you with as many schools as possible, and you'll be able to identify the one that relates with your need. And then to identify the reason why you want to ride, because then it's also going to define, the type of bike you ride and all that. So make sure you're very clear on why you're getting into biking and what you're looking at achieving. So train properly, complete the process. Make sure you get the right licensing and don't get on the bike before you get your license. Ensure you have the right gear. And how do you know the right gear is when you go for your training school, your instructor is going to give you the guidance of all the type of gear that you need, the safety gear you need, where to get it, and all that. And then once you get into biking and you go through the licensing and the process, please identify yourself with a community.
Yes.
There is nothing as good as walking through this kind of a journey with a family. So get onto a community. And how do you get onto a community is first, there are many groups start with Ink Sisterhood, and there are many other bikers club, both male and female. Just look for them up in social media. I'm sure if you're an interested biker, you already know.
You already know what's up.
So look for them. They will connect you to the biking clubs around you and communities around you. And we have what we also call Nyumbakumis, which is really the community where you stay, who are the quick responders if you need help. Identify yourself with that, and they will walk with you through that journey. And then lastly is, don't get comfortable. So once you start riding, once you see you're able to move from one place to the other, desire to learn more, desire to add your skills, desire to better your riding every day by learning more, enroll into different courses, take advantage of the YouTube sessions that are there to increase your competence and also your skill. And while at it, make life a ride, enjoy it.
Just ride.
That's right.
Anything to top up? Just say.
What I'd like to say is, if you're in riding, please, all the gear, all the time. You see these videos we see of people looking really cool. Like, you know that thing you had, you did this, and you did that
in
thing,
your head,
and you were riding like Lorenzo Lamas in a vest, up in the reins. My friend, ride for the slide, not the ride. Dress for the ride, not the slide. Dress for the slide, not
Not
the
the
ride.
ride.
Which
That
one
one.
is it?
Ah, they get the
Dress for-
message.
the
Dress for
the
the
slide, not the ride.
ride.
Correct.
Because
In the event.
when your skin kisses the
Tarmac.
it's something else.
Yeah,
Please, all the time, even if you're just going
To the shop.
Yeah, we know of people who've been in incidents where they were just going
Over there.
here to I they had just arrived.
Experienced riders, by the way.
Yeah.
So gear saves
all
life.
the gear all
the
the
time.
time. You're irreplaceable. You're irreplaceable.
Yeah. Hakuna spare part ya ubongo, by the way, ama ya kichwa. Like,
Nana nataka kutoka saizi.
life is good. Like,
Oh.
life is beautiful. So, anything else?
And also that thing about community, identifying yourself with
The
a community,
community,
that will walk you through. And also you need people. Like you need, like, in experiences where people have had incidents, people will come there, they'll make sure you are taken care of, they'll make sure your bike is taken care of, to avoid incidences where you lose things.
Yeah.
It's very unlikely that you will lose anything because people will be there on call right there, right now.
Always.
Yeah.
And lastly, just observe discipline.
Yeah. I think
Discipline.
Do not
So,
drink and ride.
do not, like, all those things they tell you.
Yeah.
I think you ladies have like covered most of it. For me, just to add on to what you've said, get into riding first and foremost for you,
Yeah.
not because somebody coerced you into doing it. Like, I have some friends who are non-bikers, and I feel like life would be much cooler if they
We
were
all
also
rode,
riding,
yeah.
so we could all ride to these places together. But it's just not their thing, and I respect that. And maybe it's not their thing now. Maybe they'll get into it later.
Yeah.
But if you get into it because you want it for you, all these things we've talked about will come easy to you because you're already committed to that.
Yeah.
And it will not be so hard for you if we tell you need to invest in good gear because you're in it for yourself. And like, good gear cannot, the price of good gear is nothing to compare to the value of your life, so you'll get it. And to summarize it, I'll just say, like you say, make life hard. I'd say just do it. If you've been thinking about it, if it's always coming up, if it's always haunting you, come in, like, join us. Like, you get to ride with these amazing ladies, and we are
Open.
so many. We are
Yeah.
open to every lady biker, every female rider.
Yeah.
As long as you adhere to the safe riding stuff that we've talked about. And you can always check out our other videos where we've talked about the gear, we've talked about road safety and things to look into when you want to start this journey. Parting shots.
all the gear, all the time.
She took yours. Brain freeze. I'll just say, just do it. Make life a ride. Just ride. That is it from Ink Sisterhood. Part 3 of this awesome trilogy with these amazing ladies. Catch you on the next episodes. Please engage, i.e. comment, and we'll be sure to get back to you on your questions. Like, subscribe, follow us, and
Thank you.
Adios.
Mwah, 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 mwah.